Everyone's seen those commercials. You know, the ones with the sad puppy eyes and the Sarah McLachlan song in the background. They're asking you to donate to the ASPCA. However, that's not the only way you can help out the animals. There's a serious problem of overcrowding in animal shelters. Each year, millions of animals have to be euthanized due to this problem of overcrowding. So, what can you do, you ask? The answer is actually pretty simple, using a combination of microchipping and spaying and neutering your animals. So the first thing to understand is that you have two different types of animal shelters. aheinz53.com defines these as a traditional shelter is an animal shelter that must accept any and all companion animals, regardless of health, temperament, or space available. If you bring it in, they have to take it. However, a no-kill shelter takes your animals on a voluntary or space available basis. They don't euthanize animals that can be adopted. They reserve that for if the animal is terminally ill or violent. So these shelters have to euthanize animals for many different reasons, be they ill or violent. But one of the reasons they shouldn't have to is because of overcrowding, and unfortunately, this is actually a pretty common reasoning. So what can you do, you might be asking? You need to, first off, adopt smartly. Understand that when you get an animal, you are looking at years of commitment. Most people will go out and buy a baby animal, and because it's very cute when they're small. You want them when they're small, and when they grow up, they decide that they don't really want that responsibility anymore, or it's too much. And so they'll take it right back to the shelter, or even worse, they'll drop it off on the side of the road, which just increases the amount of stray animals running around. The ASPCA says that 7.6 million animals will go into the shelter every year. 469 of these will be returned to their owners. 2.7 million will be adopted, and another 2.7 will be euthanized. And the amount of strays that go into the shelters is 2 times more than those that their owners have given up. That's a lot of strays out wandering the streets. So when you adopt, Paws.org for Kids suggests that you go and adopt from your local shelter instead of buying from a pet shop or somebody who's selling on the side of the road to help start cutting down on those overcrowded populations. And the American Humane Society says that there are 2 core reasons for these overpopulations. You allow your animals to reproduce with little chance of finding home for the new puppies or kitties. Or people are just giving up their pets for various reasons. They have to leave, they don't want the responsibility anymore, any different kinds of reasons. So once you get your pet, after getting them the proper tags that they need, you should microchip them. Because when you microchip them, it's easier for you to get them back from the shelter. Because your animals can run away for a lot of different reasons. Like 4th of July, the day after, they get a lot of dogs because they ran scared of the fireworks. And you should also spay and neuter your pets, because this has got a lot of great health benefits aside from cutting down the population, and we'll get back to that in a minute. But you will be cutting down on your risks of cancers and infections, and they will live a lot longer. And then for your males, when you neuter them, they're going to be so much better behaved. They're going to be less prone to roaming around the neighborhood, they're not going to be fighting as often, they're not going to feel the need to mark their territory. And so, spaying and neutering will help cut down on the strays that roam the street. Because the ASPCA says that the strays that wander around are animals that are going to be scaring your kids, they're going to be terrorizing the local wildlife, they'll even cause car accidents. But when you, a large amount of the strays come from unplanned litters of puppies and kittens. And so when you spay and neuter, you cut down on that unexpectedness. And just to get a look inside of like how fast these grow, you have your female cats. They can go into heat in the breeding season for 4 to 5 days every 3 weeks. So let's say you have a cat and her litter. They're all having 2 litters a year, and that's about 12 for the first year. But all of them are giving birth and giving birth and giving birth. And in about 4 years, that's going to jump to over 4,000 That's quite a lot of cats running around with no homes. So what you want to do is tell them, remember, you're getting into a loan commitment. Only get them when you're ready for them. And when you have your new family member, microchip them, so the pets run away, the shelters can call you, and you can come pick them up, and then you spay and neuter them to keep down the population, and it's actually a lot cheaper for you. You're not having to take care of all those puppies won't find homes. It's amazing the things that can get done when everybody works together in small ways. Let's work together to keep our shelters safe and comfortable for our animals without fear of being euthanized.